Hello, horror fans. Welcome back to Jay vs. Horror. I'm your host, Jay Wall, and today we are doing hashtag Horror Wars. We went after Bill Rodriguez from Horror Movie Review Maniacs, and we tagged him with a 1970s film called Equus, a very strange little film about a boy's obsession with horses and the psychiatrist played by Richard Burton who's trying to cure him. Bill watched Equus and he posted his review here on YouTube. Guys, we're going to put the link to Bill's review in the description down below so you can go check it out. His thoughts on a great, weird little film. I pretty much agree with everything that Bill said about Equus, too. It's a very well made film that seems a little slow, but somehow manages to keep drawing you in throughout its runtime. Great film. Check it out if you guys get a chance to check out Bill's review of Equus. Now, what we wanted was for Bill to hit us back with something equally weird, equally obscure, and he did. He pulled it off. Bill tagged us back with 1969's Blind Beast. It's a Japanese thriller directed by Yasuzo Masumura. It is based on a novel by Edogawa Rampo, and the film stars Ichiji Fukahashi, Meiko Midori, and Noriko Sengoku. Now, this is a weird little movie, right? It's about a blind sculptor who abducts a model for his muse. He is obsessed with the human form because this is basically the only way the blind can enjoy art is through feeling different shapes and textures. And this particular blind sculptor just happens to be obsessed with the female body. He poses as a masseuse to kidnap this model and then takes her back to what could only be described as the lair of a Batman villain. Possibly the sculptor. Yeah, he's created all these sculptures of the female form, including a giant wall made of breast, a large, anatomically correct female statue or sculpture in the middle of this lair type place. There's a bunch of legs hanging and all kinds of stuff. And so, yeah, he's obsessed with the female form. And what's odd about this situation is that, he has this little room, but also he lives with his mother. And she's trying to help him out. She doesn't want him to get caught for doing what he's done. She's trying to help him in multiple ways, I would say, to his own detriment, it would seem. Now, the model wakes up. At first, she's very upset about being kidnapped and being drugged to this place in the middle of nowhere by this psycho. And then all of a sudden, it starts to change. Now, I don't know if you would consider this to be Stockholm Syndrome or if she's just really a little off in the beginning, and that's why, she finds herself in tune with the situation. But she becomes more and more affectionate towards the sculptor who has her, held hostage here while he creates this masterpiece of his. And eventually she, tells him that she's in love with him. She has no intention of leaving. She tells this to the mother. And all of a sudden we have this weird love triangle between three characters who don't really know where the situation is heading, right? And they're all, I would say, a little apprehensive about the situation that they're in, except for the victim, the initial victim, the model. She is now like taking control of the situation, and the sculptor has never been sexually aggressive with her. He is more obsessed with her form than her, sexuality as far as the way she looks, what she can show him, and things like that. And she becomes sexually aggressive with him, though, and intent on proving to him that there's a difference between a lover relationship and a love relationship between a son and a mother, which is odd, you know what I mean? But Oedipus on line one. But anyway, the film gets a little weird, and then it gets to a boiling point where the relationship between these three people, it boils over. Of course, it explodes, and the mother tries to take out this girl. She wants to get rid of her. She's, once she starts telling him she's in love with him and she doesn't want to leave, the mother doesn't believe her, and she sees this as some kind of long con. where she's going to eventually hurt her son. Um, she tries to tell him this. She tries to get rid of the girl. He doesn't believe her. He's infatuated with her at this point, and the mother ends up dying. Now, what happens here? Well, basically the guardrails come off this relationship, and they go deeper and deeper into these sadomasochistic sex acts, uh, and they become more and more violent towards each other, and it draws to a natural conclusion. I'll let you watch it for yourself, but yeah, there's some interesting themes in this film. Now, look, I understand people are kinky, but I'm always one of those people that's going to tell you to be safe and, do things that are healthy, have healthy relationships, not things where you bite people till you both bleed and need to see a doctor. That's not necessarily healthy, But anyway, yeah, so there's also some stuff here I wasn't real keen on, but it is from 1969, so I think we have to look at, it's that era, it's that time. There's nothing you can do to change it now. You can either try to enjoy the story, or you can bitch about something that is completely unchangeable from 40, 50 years ago. The fact that you could kidnap a woman against her will, and then all of a sudden she would just become submissive to you sexually. That's a very dangerous idea to put in some people's heads. Not that who cares where stupid people get stupid ideas? I always say that, but I just think today that whole thing would get torn apart, and it is interesting here as far as where the story is heading. So for me, it's totally acceptable in this format. Now, if it came out today and it was done differently, who could say what? But it's 1969 and it's Japan. They're not going to be too forward thinking or liberal about the things that we are today. So you have to keep that in perspective. I give the film a solid 7.5 out of 10. I think artistically, if the film came out today, it would be an A24 film, and everyone under 38 would say it was terrible, and everyone over 38 would praise it for its atmosphere and creativity. Also, I mean, what are they called? 50 Shades of Grey? 50 Shades of Grey. Those movies probably made like $100 or $100 million. I don't know what was there. There was 2 or 3 or 4 of them. I don't know, but yeah, this film is so far beyond 50 Shades of Grey. It's not funny. Definitely worth a watch. Thank you, Bill, for putting us on to a great film. I had seen it once before, about maybe 10 years ago, when I was going down some different shocking films list. And what I remember from that period was it didn't shock me enough compared to the other stuff that I was watching to feel like it made an impression. But as soon as I started watching it again, it kind of all flooded back to me. And this time I just watched it with the intention of digging deeper into the story, and I appreciated that. So thank you, Bill. Great pick. And guys, if you want to play, go to Horror Movie Review Maniacs on Facebook. Tag me, tag Bill, tag Kelly, tag Regina, tag somebody in the group with a horror film, and they will go review it and then tag you back, and you can review the film they hit you with. It's a fun game. That's all we got for this week, horror fans, and we will talk to you the next time we got something worth talking about. Bye.